One drama exploded on social media when Mendeecees dropped the shocking news. The results of a DNA test showed that Yandy had been hiding the truth about their family for years. Fans were totally shocked, questioning everything they thought they knew about the couple. Was Yandy hiding a big secret? And what does this mean for their future? Feelings ran high as Mendeecees faced Yandy in a heated argument, leaving us all wondering, is this the end of one of reality TV's most famous couples? Stay tuned as we explain this jaw-dropping scandal step by step. Mendeecees could hardly believe his eyes as he looked down at the DNA test results. His fingers shook holding the paper as the words on it moved before his eyes. He didn't want to believe it, but the cold, hard truth was right in front of him. The child Yandy had been saying was not his at all. How could this happen? How could Yandy, the woman he trusted with his heart, the woman who stood by him through thick and thin, betray him this way? The room felt like it was closing in on him as the weight of the truth sank in. The child, their child, he thought wasn't even his. His mind raced, thinking back to all the times he spent with the little one. The late-night feedings, the birthday parties, the family trips. How many times had he looked into those innocent eyes and told himself he was doing the right thing by staying by Yandy's side? He was broken. He could hardly breathe. Without a moment's pause, Mendeecees ran out of the house and into his car. His mind focused on one thing, facing Yandy. He couldn't wait any longer. He had to know why. Why had she done this? Why had she lied to him? As he drove, the anger began to grow. It wasn't just about the child. It was about everything. The lies, the tricks, the years of trust that had just been broken in an instant. He didn't even know how he was going to face Yandy when he saw her. He couldn't imagine what kind of reason could explain this. When he arrived at the house, the door was already open. Yandy was inside, her back turned as she prepared dinner, unaware of the storm about to hit New York. He stood at the doorway for a moment, taking a deep breath before walking inside. The tension was heavy, and he could barely control his feelings. Yandy called out, her voice steady but with a rising edge of anger. She turned to face him, her expression softening as she smiled, but that smile quickly disappeared when she saw the look on his face. Mendeecees, baby, what's wrong? She asked, stepping toward him with concern in her eyes. I answer, Yandy, he said coldly, holding up the DNA test results in front of her face. His hand shook as he pushed the paper toward her, his eyes burning with anger. Explain this. Yandy's face changed. Her smile vanished, replaced by a look of panic she tried to hide but couldn't. She swallowed hard and took a step back. Mendeecees said, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. He repeated, his voice rising. This test says the child isn't mine. All these years, you've lied. To me, you've lied to all of us. How long has this been going on? And how long have you been keeping this secret from me? Yandy opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. The weight of the accusation was too heavy to bear. Her mind raced, but she couldn't find the right thing to say. She hadn't expected Mendeecees to find out like this, and she definitely hadn't prepared for the anger in his voice. I didn't lie, Mendeecees, she said, her voice shaking a little. It's hard, complicated. Mendeecees nearly shouted, you think telling me the truth was complicated? Or is it the lies you've been feeding me that are complicated? Yandy felt her heart drop. She knew she couldn't lie her way out of this, but the truth, the whole truth, was something she wasn't sure she was ready to face. The shame was eating her alive, but she had to say something, anything. It's not like you think, she said, her voice weak. I didn't mean for it to get this far. Didn't mean for it to get this far. Mendeecees yelled, you've been lying to me about my own child, Yandy. I've been there for him like he's my flesh and blood, and all this time I've been a fool. Yandy's eyes filled with tears. She didn't know what to say. She had always thought of herself as the strong one, the one who kept everything together. But now everything was falling apart. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Instead, she just stood there frozen as Mendeecees turned away from her, walking in frustration. This is ridiculous, Yandy. I don't know what to believe anymore. I stood by you through thick and thin, and this is how you repay me. He could barely look at her anymore. You've hurt me. Tears ran down Yandy's face as she tried to speak. Please, I didn't know how to tell you. It wasn't like this at the start. I was trying to protect our family. Mendeecees cut her off, turning back around to face her. By lying to me? By lying to our son? How could you think that was protecting anyone? Do you understand what this is doing to us? Yandy choked back a sob, her chest tightening as she tried to explain herself, but nothing she said could undo the damage that had already been done. She had kept a secret, a huge secret, for so long, and now it was all coming to light. Mendeecees was hurt, betrayed, and you could see it in his eyes. He wasn't going to let this slide. This isn't just about the test, Yandy, Mendeecees continued, his voice heavy with feeling. It's about trust. Everything we've built, everything we've been through together. It all feels like a lie now. How do I know what's real anymore? Yandy stood there helpless, her hands shaking at her sides. She had no answer. She couldn't fix this. She could only wait for Mendeecees to decide what came. The silence between them felt suffocating, and the air was thick with the weight of their broken bond. Do you even love me? Mendeecees asked softly, almost too softly, but the pain on his face was clear. Yandy could barely breathe. This was the moment she had feared most, the moment when all her secrets came crashing down. She opened her mouth to speak, but the words wouldn't come. How could she answer that? How could she make him understand? The silence stretched on. Mendeecees turned away from her again, his voice stronger. With each step he took, I can't do this anymore, Yandy. I can't keep acting like everything is fine when it's not. I need space. I need time to think. And with that, Mendeecees walked out the door, leaving Yandy standing in the ruins of everything they once had. The weight of his leaving crushed her, and she knew deep down their lives would never be the same again. The days after Men's sudden leaving were full of nothing but mess and confusion. Yandy was left alone in the empty house, her heart hurting, struggling to find any sign of normal in a world that had been turned upside down. She never thought something like this could happen, not after all they had been through together. But now, with Mendeecees gone and the truth out, she had no idea how to fix what was broken. Her phone kept buzzing constantly with messages from friends, family, and fans, all asking for answers. Everyone had their own opinion, their own ideas about what had really happened. Some supported Mendeecees, saying he was right to be angry and leave. Others loyal to Yandy tried to comfort her, telling her the truth would come out soon and everything would be okay. But Yandy knew the damage was already done. There was no turning back. The moment Mendeecees left, he didn't just walk out of their home. He walked out of her life. She could feel the distance growing between them every hour. He wasn't answering her calls. He wasn't replying to her texts. Yandy was losing him, and she didn't know how to stop it. The reality hit her hardest when she talked to her mother, who had always been a steady support in her life. Mrs. Smith was furious, her voice shaking with disbelief when Yandy told her about the DNA results. How could you let it get this far, Yandy? Her mother asked, pacing back and forth in the living room. You lied to him and now you've ruined everything. Do you even understand what you've done? I didn't mean for this to happen, Mom. Yandy begged, tears falling down her face. I never wanted to hurt him, but it wasn't like that at the start. I didn't know how to tell him the truth. Her mother's eyes narrowed. And now look where we are. You've damaged your marriage, and you've broken your family. You need to fix it, Yandy. And you need to do it fast. Yandy felt the pressure growing. It wasn't just about her relationship with Mendeecees anymore. It was about everything they had built, their family, their future. But how could she fix something so broken? How could she undo years of lies and betrayal? Meanwhile, Mendeecees was dealing with his own problems. Friends, family, and fans all stood behind him, supporting him through the hardest time of his life. He was always seen as the calm, strong one in the family, but now he showed his true, raw feelings. He didn't know who to trust anymore. He didn't know what was real. One afternoon, Mendeecees met with his brother, who had been his support through many ups and downs. They sat quietly for a few moments, not sure how to start the talk. Finally, Mendeecees broke the silence. I never thought I'd be here, bro, he said, his voice low and full of pain. I thought I had it all, the family, the love, everything I wanted, and now it's all a lie. His brother, feeling the depth of his pain, put a hand on his shoulder. You don't have to explain yourself, man. We're here for you. Whatever you need. I don't even know what I need anymore, MC said, his voice breaking with feelings. Yandy, she lied to me. I gave her everything and she did this to me. I don't know how to look at her the same way anymore. Have you talked to her? His brother asked quietly. No, he replied angrily. What's there to talk about? She lied, and now I'm supposed to just forgive her? I can't even understand it. I've been trying to get it, but it's eating me alive. The weight of the situation was too much for Mendeecees to handle. Every time he thought about the future, he saw nothing but a broken family and unanswered questions. Was this really the end? Could they come back from this? Across town, Yandy was trying to make sense of her own feelings. She had never felt so alone, so confused. But one of her close friends, a trusted one who had always been there, called to check in. "Yandy girl, what are you going to do? This whole situation has gone too far. You can't keep pretending everything is okay when it's clearly not." "I don't know what to do anymore," Yandy said, her voice shaking. "I tried to fix it. I tried to make everything right, but I think it's too late. He won't even talk to me. He's done with me." Her friend was silent for a moment before speaking. "This isn't just about you and MC anymore, Yandy. This is about the truth. It's about what's right. You need to take responsibility for your actions, no matter how hard it is." Yandy knew her friend was right, but the truth was harder to face than anything else. She had tried to protect MDC in the past, but in doing so, she had made a lie that grew out of control. There was no fixing it now. The damage was done and the results were far-reaching. As the days passed, Yandy's and Men's worlds kept falling apart in different directions. Mendeecees leaned on his friends and family for support, while Yandy held on to the hope that somehow she hoped she could fix what felt impossible to fix. But as the drama continued, the problems got bigger. MC wasn't just dealing with his wife's betrayal. He was struggling with the very core of his family being questioned. The whole world was watching, waiting to see what would happen next. Fans were divided, with some blaming Mendeecees for walking away, and others defending his right to stand up for the truth. And while the world guessed about the end of this explosive situation, one thing was clear: the drama was far from finished. As the days slowly passed, the stress between Men and Yandy only grew. What began as a shocking truth had now turned into a full-blown public mess, with fans and the press secretly following every single move. Social media was filled with comments, jokes, and wild ideas about what might happen next. Men's every post was watched closely, and Yandy's every outing was judged harshly. It felt like no one could escape the mess from the DNA test drama. Mendeecees, though, was clear that he needed time to think. He had pulled away from Yandy, from the press, from the public. He was trying to find calm in the middle of the chaos. But the same questions kept coming back to him. Could he ever believe Yandy again? Was there a chance to fix what had been destroyed? The love they once had now felt like a faraway memory, covered up by the lies that had ruined everything. Meanwhile, Yandy? She wasn't giving up. Even with Men's silence, she was determined to make things better. She knew the path ahead wouldn't be simple, but she couldn't just sit and watch her marriage fall apart. She tried reaching out to M, sending texts, leaving voice messages, and even going to the places he liked most, hoping for a peaceful moment. But every effort seemed to be met with cold silence. He wasn't ready to see her. He wasn't ready to forgive. Then one evening, after weeks of silence, Yandy got a call from MC. Her heart raced as she looked at the screen, unsure of what was coming. Would he yell again? Would he finally say what was really on his mind? "Yandy," MC's voice was tired and low at the other end. "I've been thinking about everything." Yandy's breath caught in her chest. This was the moment she waited for. "Yandy," he continued, "I'm really sorry. I never wanted things to end up like this. I know I hurt you and I know I broke your trust. But please, understand, I never wanted to lose you." MC sighed deeply, the pressure of it all still heavy on him. "I don't know if I can fully understand this, Yandy. You lied to me for so long. I can't act like nothing happened. I don't even know who I can believe anymore. I spent my whole life trusting the people closest to me, and now I'm doubting everything." There was a long silence between them, both feeling the weight of the conversation. Yandy could feel her heart breaking again, as Men's words hung heavy in the air. She knew healing wouldn't come quickly, and it definitely wouldn't come easily. "The damage runs deep," she whispered. "Men, I know I've lost your trust. I broke your heart, and I don't expect that to heal overnight. But I'm ready to do anything it takes to fix it. I'm ready to fight for us, for our family." The truth in her voice reached him, and for a few seconds, Mendeecees didn't say anything. His pain and anger were still fresh, but something about Yandy's words hit his heart. This was the woman he had loved for years, the mother of his kids, asking for another shot, a chance to rebuild what they once had. "I don't know if I'm ready for that," MC said softly, "but I'm willing to try. I can't promise things will be like before, but I'm open to talking." I'm open to listening. Yandy felt a small spark of hope light up inside her. It wasn't a promise to get back together, but it was a beginning, a little light in a very dark tunnel. The next few weeks were full of deep talks, late-night conversations, and serious therapy sessions. Mendeecees and Yandy both faced their fears, working through the mess they made. The lies, the pain, the broken trust. It was a hard road, but they were both trying to move forward. Even their family was affected by what had happened. The children could feel it. The tension between their parents grew, and Yandy's mother kept urging her daughter to make things right. Mendeecees wasn't rushing into anything. He had been hurt badly, and the pain ran too deep for him to just jump back into a happy family story. Yet as time moved on, there were small steps forward. Mendeecees agreed to spend more time with Yandy, to see if they could fix their relationship. They began to share more, to better, and while things weren't perfect, not even close, there was an understanding between them that they both wanted more than the pain they had been stuck in. But the wounds would remain. The trust that was once so strong now had cracks in it, and it would take a long time to truly heal. The road ahead would be long and unsure, with many more struggles, but for the first time in months, both Mendeecees and Yandy felt like they had a chance, a real chance, to rebuild their life together. As for the public, the story kept growing. Fans still watched closely, wondering what would happen next. Would Mendeecees and Yandy be able to fix their broken marriage? Or would this be the end of their story? No one could say for sure. But one thing was clear. The drama was not over yet. The shock from the DNA test scandal had shaken the very base of Mendeecees and Yandy's marriage, leaving fans around the world waiting to see what comes next. As the couple struggles to come back together, the question remains, can they fix the damage caused by years of lies? Or is this the end of one of reality TV's most famous couples? We want to know what you think. Do you believe Mendeecees and Yandy can rebuild their love? Or has too much already been broken? Drop a comment below and tell us how you feel about this wild drama. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates on all the latest twists and turns in this shocking story.